Yeah, this is Billiam, and for some reason, the Travel Channel has become the biggest hub for ghost hunting shows on cable, and I have done my best to track down every single one of them so I can say I watched every ghost show on the Travel Channel.
Are you knocking?
Was this a spirit communicating with me?
Most of these shows take the same format of the Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures, which took its format from the Sci-Fi Channel's Ghost Hunters. Ghost Adventures, starring Zak Bagans, is the Travel Channel's flagship show, as Zak and his crew visit different, often iconic locations to investigate a ghostly presence. What they usually find is their unproven ghost hunting gear randomly fluctuating as they're able to capture images not of ghosts, but of particles of dust, bugs, or lens artifacts that they insist are spirit orbs, all while Zak does his best to dramatize the entire event.
Again, if this were a piece of dust right near the camera's lens, you would easily see it pass over in front of Nick.
To put in perspective how big Ghost Adventures and other ghost shows were for the Travel Channel, by 2015, most cable channels saw their viewership trending downward as people steadily began cord cutting, but during this same time, the Travel Channel was seeing their highest viewership in their entire history. All thanks to ghost shows. And they've been chasing that success like Zak Bagans chases ghosts. Over the years, they've aired some really odd shows like Paranormal Paparazzi, which tried to take the TMZ format and apply it to paranormal stories.
But we go out with a group that does their investigations butt naked.
That's me.
Amish Hunting, which retold fake stories of fake Amish people getting haunted because they used electricity. The Holzer Files uses archival material from Hans Holzer, said to be the first television ghost hunter ever, and the Osbournes Want to Believe sees Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne being disappointed in their son Jack for being a paranormal investigator.
Nothing is moving.
The only explanation is it's a ghost.
Everyone is a ghost hunter on this channel, even Kesha in Conjuring Kesha, which makes it sound like she's the ghost. The Travel Channel has aired so many ghost and paranormal shows that I've found it impossible to find a comprehensive list on the internet. I keep digging up more shows.
It had to be a ghost.
But I've done my best to dig up every single ghost show the Travel Channel has ever aired, regardless of how short-lived or obscure it was. This is watching every Travel Channel ghost show. My nights may be for ghost hunting, but my mornings are reserved for today's sponsor, Huel. I like starting my day with Huel's Black Edition powder. It's neither a protein shake nor a meal replacement, it's a complete meal. It contains 40 grams of protein, fiber, healthy fats, carbs, and 27 vitamins and minerals packed into every shake. Also, it takes 30 seconds to make. Talk about an easy, well-balanced meal. No wonder why it's trusted by over 4 million people worldwide. Designed by real dietitians for real-world nutrition, Huel makes me feel great. Not only for their delicious and creamy chocolate flavor, but also because it contains vitamin B12 to reduce tiredness and fatigue. I know my workday is going to benefit greatly because of how awake I feel after drinking a Huel shake. Huel also offers nutritionally complete, ready-to-drink meals for even more convenience. You gotta try the strawberry and banana flavor. Huel-licious. And Huel has brand new products that are just as beneficial and tasty. Huel Daily Greens, I love how they are ready to drink and come in a variety of flavors to choose from, like blueberry, peach, and apple. I gotta say, by far my favorite is the blueberry, with hints of lemon and thyme. It tastes good. So get Huel's newest product and the rest of their products for 15% off with this exclusive offer for new customers only with code Billiam at Huel.com/Billiam. Thanks again to Huel. Now back to the video. So how did the Travel Channel become the Ghost Channel? Well, the Travel Channel officially launched in 1987 with a slate of programming which was described as 50% travel news and entertainment and 50% commercials. In its early days, the Travel Channel, then a premium satellite channel, tried to position itself as an alternative to travel agencies, with many programs being ads for travel packages and much of its marketing being dedicated to travel-related sweepstakes. This is no surprise considering the Travel Channel was birthed when Trans World Airlines, now owned by American Airlines, purchased the home theater network. HTN was an HBO competitor that often used the Travel Channel name to air travel-related filler programming in between movies. And from my research, the Travel Channel first dabbled with paranormal programming in 1996, with programs programs like Haunted Europe starring Stephen Rea and a show called Ghost Bones. I've searched high and low for these programs, and I've gotta say they're now ghosts themselves, lost media. But a regular airing program, Mysterious Places with Stacy Keach, which although not a dedicated ghost show, did cover ghosts in at least one episode. But by the time Discovery Communications purchased the Travel Channel in 1997, their family of networks had already been expanding their lineup of paranormal programming. And the Travel Channel would of course follow this trend within its first few years under Discovery. Beginning with Weird Travels in 2001, hosted by Don Wildman of Mysteries at the Museum fame. This show would not focus on ghosts exclusively, rather everything paranormal, with every episode having a collection of stories.
Tita is not exactly an everyday name. It's not Mary or Ann. But I would hear my name called. Tita. Tita. Tita.
The reenactments are a bit silly, but in a fun kind of way. But the runtime of the show focuses on folklore and interviews rather than trying to prove the existence of these monsters. One episode I found on YouTube featured stories about Bigfoot, werewolves and dogmen, exorcisms, and of course, ghosts.
There are rumors that there's a werewolf around Elkhorn. I laughed out loud.
Richard is a paranormal investigator who has spent a great deal of time studying the area and the man-dog phenomenon.
Don has so much riz for this sort of thing, along the same lines of Jonathan Frakes of Fact or Fiction.
Venture into the unknown. Next stop, the unexplained. Don't go away. Don't wander off.
The show ran until 2006, which is about as long as our next show ran for. The Travel Channel's first proper series about ghosts would air just a few months later in 2001, with Haunted Hotels, which is a far cry from the kind of ghost hunting shows the channel would become famous for.
When you spend a night in a haunted hotel, locking your door won't keep out the guests who don't need keys.
Local talking head interviews act as the primary narrators alongside tasteful reenactments, which always services the location itself rather than the hosts of the show.
During the night, someone kept pulling his toes, and he finally figured out it had to be her. Typical Cajun character to me. Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll.
Which is very much in the spirit of travel. These ghosts are global. Just in one episode, we're taken to the 500-year-old Kirkstone Past Inn in Britain, a haunted plantation home in Indiana, which is the visual reference for the home in Gone with the Wind, the 13th century Chateau de Puy-Martin in the southwest of France, and a 19th century bed and breakfast in Louisiana, all of which have a storied history of crime, death, and of course, ghost sightings. It's actually pretty wild to see a ghost show on the Travel Channel give us this globe-trotting view of haunts in a single hour of television. It's almost as if we're traveling on this here channel. But the show was canceled in 2005, right before the new guy took over. By 2006, Discovery Communications would get a new CEO, David Zasloff, as all of their channels would begin airing more dramatized content that slowly drifted away from their original informative intention.
Can you handle the lockdown? Ghost Adventures begin next Friday with a critically acclaimed documentary at 8 and the series premiere at 10, only on the Travel Channel.
And while it wasn't the first paranormal show on the Travel Channel, Ghost Adventures' success would redefine the channel's strategy. So Ghost Adventures began in 2008, and its host, Zak Bagans, is a guy who takes himself way too seriously.
My name is Zak Bagans. I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one.
Zak is joined by Aaron Goodwin and Nick Groff, the co-creators of the show, as they go to infamously haunted locations to capture ghosts on camera. With no big camera crews following them around, the three come off like buddies, going on a little adventure together. They're not ghost hunters, they're ghost adventurers. That has big yippee energy.
These are our ghost adventures.
A lot of the haunted destinations they travel to have pretty interesting lore behind them, and some are very beautiful. It is the Travel Channel after all. Let's just add some grown men looking for ghosts and giggling like Beavis and Butthead as they do informational interviews about the locations.
A young man she met here who was a seaman went away. A seaman, a man of the...
1859 cause of death, masturbation? You gotta find that guy while you're here.
At the Eastern State Penitentiary, Zak, Aaron, and Nick learned that the famed mobster Al Capone was incarcerated there for 8 months. Apparently, Capone was being haunted in his cell by the ghost of Jimmy Clark, one of his victims.
But it is...
Did you hear that?
I certainly did. Yeah, I certainly did.
What the hell was that?
Was not,
did you hear that?
That was not contrived.
Jamie Clark, is that you?
Jimmy, give us a sign. Give us another sign.
Did you guys hear that though?
Yeah, I heard it.
Right when we were talking, it was
Give
right
us
here.
Another sign, Jimmy.
So Zak plans to antagonize and trigger Al Capone's ghost into revealing himself.
All right, Alfonso. I'm taunting Al Capone.
He didn't die there, by the way. He just spent 8 months there. I have a new theory. What if Zak Bagans taunting Al Capone sent his voice back in time, and the thing that was haunting Al Capone was Zak Bagans' future voice?
All right, Alfonso.
What was that?
The guard said they would hear your screams.
Wait, did you hear that?
It sounded like a little girl.
Jimmy Clark, is that you, motherf***? One lady says she felt a ghost smack her butt.
In the butt?
Yeah.
And Zak asks her to demonstrate where it happened, and then he licks his lips.
So it was a hit.
But what if the residual energy from her demonstration went back in time and she smacked her own butt? Zak chains himself to a chair to remind the ghosts of their past trauma. People have called Zak overdramatic, and he's sick of that criticism, but he proves it every chance he gets. He claims it's a technique to provoke the ghosts who refuse to talk back.
And I want you to all congregate in through this door right here and come and get me.
During their lockdowns, the three of them riff on each other and act paranoid, making a big deal out of every bump and creak in the prison.
Are you knocking? Was this a spirit communicating with me?
Their primary ghost communication tool is standard audio recording equipment, which captures an EVP, or an electrical voice phenomena. Paranormal investigators insist audio recording equipment can capture ghost voices that we can't hear with our ears. But the voices they often capture sound really fake. Even if I believed they captured some of them, I find it really unlikely that they would be able to capture a ghost's voice consistently across over 200 episodes. And when they don't sound fake, it sounds like they're trying to make something out of nothing.
Was this a spirit referring to the skylights that were specifically installed in this prison?
I do my best to hear what they hear, but I just can't, no matter how many times they replay it. That didn't sound like a ghost saying Nick. Don't get me started on the EMF reader.
I began using my EMF detector because it picks up on electromagnetic energy, which spirits are known to give off.
It's electromagnetic f***ery. It's a device literally meant to measure electromagnetic fluctuations, and I don't know if you know this, but radio waves are a part of the electromagnetic spectrum. There are always fluctuating electromagnetic signals around you. There are so many ways to explain why an EMF might fluctuate other than ghosts. The show made the network and Zak a lot of money. His ego, wallet, and triceps are huge. He's built for this profession and believes other ghost hunters are phonies. In his book, I Am Haunted, he said this: I see other paranormal investigators as people who are trying hard to figure out the basics of the spirit world, while I'm fully immersed in it. They're snorkeling in 10 feet of water to look at the reef, while I'm at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Are there ghosts at the bottom of the Mariana Trench? In this book, he talks about the process they go through to film Ghost Adventures, as well as the real dangers that go along with it. And he doesn't mean squatters or asbestos, he means the ghosts. Sometimes Zak and Aaron get really angry towards each other while filming.
Me?
Yeah, I said you!
Stop, dude. Get the
out of here!
The reason they lash out each other is not because of their poorly managed anger issues, but because they were being possessed, or as they say, oppressed by a ghost. They believe this dive bar, Bob Mackey's World of Music in Kentucky, is one of the most evil places on earth. Historically, the building was a hotbed for violent crime, and they believe that's because it was built on a portal to hell. While investigating, it influences the ghost adventurers to want to hurt each other, but I'm not sure that would hold up in court.
All I could visualize was beating him up.
What did you tell him, Aaron? What did you tell him that you wanted to do to him?
I told him that I wanted to hurt him. I wanted to hurt him so bad.
Tell them what you told Bishop James. What did you want to do to him?
I wanted to kill him.
Though it's Zak himself that makes Ghost Adventures fun to watch. He understands being an entertainer, and it is actually so fun to see a dude bro heckling ghosts to come and get him.
I want the strongest guy in here. You could have bragging rights, because I'm the new guard. Are you looking at me? Do you have a shank? Go ahead, there's my neck. Do it.
With over 200 episodes, over 200 adventures, Zak has had all sorts of interactions with these ghosts.
Did someone just scratch me?
He's been possessed multiple times, and ghosts have made him try to hurt himself.
Let go of your neck. Stop. Let go. Stop it. Zak.
Zak, stop.
Zak, stop.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Stop.
Poor Zak. And before you feel bad for Zak, he's also had sex with a ghost, allegedly.
Leaning over, putting two hands on top of my legs, you know, and
it's awkward just listening to you say it.
And in a sick, weird way, I was really, really intrigued by it. I didn't want to leave the room. I felt like I was being teased, and in all honesty, I wanted more.
Zak seems to be more into the dead than the living. He dated former Playboy model and star of The Girls Next Door, Holly Madison, who alleged Zak cheated on her with over 7 different women. Does that include the ghosts? He was probably like, babe, that wasn't me. It was the ghosts. They possessed me.
And to see if you can still love on the other side.
Also, Zak has been credibly accused of plagiarizing his Ghost Hunting for Dummies book, and has had ongoing beef with former cast member Nick Groff, who was on the show for 10 seasons.
As far as him going on and saying, I use Ghost Adventures for my resume, yes, it is part of my resume. I helped create the title Ghost Adventures, I edited it, I was a co-creator, I was in it for 10 seasons. I have every right to use Ghost Adventures on my resume.
Ghost Adventures became an entire franchise with specials and spin-offs, such as Deadly Possessions, which began in 2016 and follows Zak's collection of haunted collectibles that are displayed in his haunted museum in Las Vegas.
These are my deadly possessions.
And what's funny about this is some of the items in his collection have unsubstantiated history, like actor Bela Lugosi's haunted mirror. Lugosi's family claims that they have no recollection or record of this item ever being owned by Bela Lugosi, but it's in his museum nonetheless. In 2017, Ghost Adventures would host a 4-hour-long live show inside the museum.
Acquiring a collection of haunted artifacts that began as a child's hobby.
Did he just call that a childhood hobby? That can't be correct. The original intro says he never believed in a ghost until he came face to face with one.
I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one.
Unless, was he a baby when that happened? Was he a skeptical baby until he came face to face with a ghost as a toddler so he could develop the obsession and the hobby by the time he was a child? I think there's a plot hole here, but Zak insists his museum is no joke and sells the bit further by requiring guests to sign a waiver upon entering the building because they could be at risk of getting injured by the deadly possessions in his collection, which have spirits attached to them.
After all, some of the objects in this museum have been reported to cause headaches, vomiting, nosebleeds, and in some cases, much more serious stuff, heart attacks and even death.
Deadly Possessions and the live special just feel like a long ad for Zak Bagans' Las Vegas attraction, and Zak himself is afraid of what he owns.
Zak may attempt to open the Dybbuk box, the most haunted and dangerous object on the face of the earth.
The Dybbuk box contains a Dybbuk, which is a demon. It was featured on the first episode of Deadly Possessions and is called the world's most haunted object. Perfectly convenient for Zak's haunted museum to have the most haunted item in the world. I would definitely consider visiting if that were the case.
Is this the Dybbuk box?
This is today the most haunted item in the world.
The Dybbuk box becomes the star of the live special. Everyone is feeling sick around it and their spirit box is talking like crazy.
Maybe we shouldn't do it then, dude.
Open it! It just
Open it! I heard that!
When you're sarcastic, open it!
Oh my God.
That's evil.
Yeah, they're
Just open
testing
it.
you. They're testing you
That's
now.
like a clown.
Spirit boxes, according to expert debunkers, are just bad radios. Bad radios that pick up radio signals and words at random, which Ghost Hunters claims is spirits talking to them, even though it always sounds like someone on the radio. Zak insists the box is trying to keep them from opening it. He shows up to the live event having come down with a cold, which he claims is of supernatural origin.
I'm sick, I feel weak, and I have to fight through this. So the timing of that is a little coincidental, don't you think?
And then later, he insists his heart rate is elevated not because he is sick and hosting a 4-hour show, but because of the demon inside the Dybbuk box.
It's just boom. I know I just went up some stairs, but it's not just from going up one flight of stairs.
Throughout the whole special, they string the audience along, claiming they'll open the box. It's even got a salt circle around it to keep the demon inside. They hype the danger up so much, it comes off as comical because it's just a fucking box.
I'll open it if you decide to open it.
No, don't put that on me.
I am putting it on you.
They have a rabbi on standby who will put the demon back in the box, but when Zak meets the rabbi seems like the most normal person on earth who doesn't buy into the theatrics.
Are there demonic possessions in
Not that much that I believe that it really could have, that they could take control of you, that I would be concerned about it.
All right. So
that may not be good with your script, but that's my personal belief.
The rabbi hints that his beliefs don't align with Zak's script, and the next time we see Zak, the rabbi is gone. I want to see the footage where Zak kicks him out. I want to see that footage so badly. But nonetheless, Zak plays it off like the Dybbuk was influencing the rabbi who apparently had agreed to be on the show to put the demon back in the box.
That guy made me angry. We went to a well-known rabbi here in Las Vegas who was fully aware of the Dybbuk and the demon that possesses humans. Then this guy comes in here, all due respect to him, okay? Comes in and totally changes his tune about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just these weird things are happening right now to totally block this, to stop it. These weird objections. Yeah, I'm done with this. Get out, get out, get out, get out. I want everybody out of here right now. I don't like what's going on.
So they don't open it. And of course, Zak would make a follow-up video with the rabbi to explain what he meant by script. To explain the live event wasn't scripted, which I don't know about you, but that makes me believe it was scripted.
I thought to myself, and I knew you were upset, and I asked you, I said, I don't know what the guy's upset. I'm just telling you, I came here to try to help. Yeah. I am a rabbi, I'm a real rabbi. And I do study Jewish mysticism. And,
you do?
Yes, I do study Jewish mysticism. I studied the Kabbalah.
I was more upset at my crew. They didn't even tell you that you're going to be on live TV. There was nothing.
I did not know.
We don't tell our guests you're going to go in there and I want you to say this and I want you to act like this. We don't do that.
No, you absolutely did not, because I did not know that I was on live TV.
Horrible, but not as horrible as their 2020 special, Horror at Joe Exotic's Zoo.
I can't believe I'm saying this, and I never actually believed that I would ever say it. We are now preparing to make our way inside Joe Exotic's house to investigate.
This is what convinced me Zak Bagans is just as opportunistic as every other psychic grifter in Ghost Hunter. In March of 2020, the Tiger King documentary on Netflix was watched by 34.3 million people in the first 10 days of its release. And later in the year, Ghost Adventures showed up for a 2-hour special. Ghosts were never a part of the Tiger King story, but Zak sure does look cool as they try to frame shots while maintaining social distancing. Now, Zak is trying to contact the spirit of Joe Exotic's ex, Travis Maldonado, who accidentally took his own life on the property of Joe Exotic's animal park. They even have an actor pretend to be Travis for their B-roll, and it comes off as totally tasteless. They show the bullet hole left by the accidental weapon discharge repeatedly.
Can you please take us to the exact location where Travis Maldonado killed himself?
The team talks to pretty much everyone featured in the documentary except for Joe Exotic, who is still in prison. They express how haunted and heavy this zoo feels. I mean, Joe Exotic abused and killed tigers here, and he was horrible to his staff members. But they make him less responsible for these abuses by implying he was possessed by a demon.
As he would speak to you? He would speak to you. And he would say things all the time? Say things all the time. And every time he said something? Every time he said He'd repeat himself.
You think that dude was possessed?
I don't know. Maybe Joe was just a f***ed up guy. They are shown around the zoo, including the disgusting home of Joe Exotic. It's falling apart, has no door, and a horse just shits and pisses in there whenever it wants. They have a scary sound effect over an epic slow motion shot of the horse just pissing everywhere. But Zak insists he felt a horrible, oppressive, ghostly presence inside of that house that made him feel terrible, which could have equally been the piles of horse shit on the floor. I would feel terrible if I walked in there too, and there wouldn't even have to be a ghost in there. There's tons of horse shit on the floor.
No, dude, I feel like I started shaky and I couldn't breathe, and it was just like this feeling of get out.
Travis's spirit is here.
When they investigate the stinky home looking for Travis, they bring out their SLS camera. It detects spirits manifesting into space, appearing as little animated skeletons. The ghostly figures the SLS picks up is sort of scary, but in reality, an SLS camera is just an Xbox Kinect being used in the wrong way. Like it's literally a repurposed Xbox Kinect. The Kinect is a camera built to identify figures and track motion. It's a toy, and they take it visualizing and failing to pick up a figure as a sign that there is a ghost in the room. It's literally trying to do what it was built to do, and failing because nobody's in front of it.
Appear by your hat.
Oh my god, it's right by the hat, it's gone. Oh my god, dude.
Are you serious?
Yes!
Thank you, Travis.
The gadgets ghost hunters use are usually pretty standard across the board, but sometimes Ghost Adventures brings in inventor Bill Chappell to make something really crazy. And apparently Bill Chappell's a skeptic.
The mist went up just right behind you.
Are you serious?
Right up in front of you, right in front of the doorway.
Bill Chappell, a skeptic.
During this special, Bill invents his biggest device yet, the Deep Echo EVP, which is a PVC pipe filled with water running throughout the entire zoo attached to an audio recorder. Ooh, they had a big budget for this one. The pipe is supposed to suck up all the sound and isolate a ghost's voice. I'm no expert, but I don't think PVC piping is soundproof. And also, water picks up sound better than air. It would not isolate ghost audio. There's no reason to think the voices they're picking up are anything but the voices of the people on the property. I'm internally screaming.
Can an EVP travel through solid water?
This is a liquid. This is a gas. And this, well, this is a solid.
Who knows? Maybe nothing will happen, but that's what an experiment is, so I'm gonna try this.
I'm about to make myself a ghost after hearing that. Today, Zak Bagans and his crew are still cranking out Ghost Adventures episodes, but they only explore the west coast of America.
I hate flying for many reasons, but mostly because it does one very weird thing to me. Every time I fly, I have to pee. A lot.
Please come to the Isle of Man. It's a very haunted Isle of Man. I know, I just gotta get over this flying thing, you guys.
So the Travel Channel's biggest star is afraid of travel.
My name is Amy Allen. I see dead people. I speak to dead people, and they speak to me.
Starting in 2011 and ending in 2023, the Travel Channel's second longest running ghost show is The Dead Files.
There's only one way to know if my findings are real. I rely on my partner.
I'm Steve DeShavi. I'm a retired New York City homicide detective.
Psychic medium Amy Allen works alongside former NYPD homicide investigator Steve DeSchiavi to investigate ghostly happenings going on in regular people's homes. While Ghost Adventures does make an attempt to travel to interesting locations, I really do think the Travel Channel abandons its original intention when they have ghost investigators going to regular people's houses. Yet I have to admit, the Dead Files storytelling format is really fun. One half of the show is Steve uncovering some fun historical true crime stories involving the property and its surroundings while interviewing people who I assume truly believe they are haunted.
Logan, you told me you did 1 seance. Then you told me you did 10. Then I got you to tell me you did 15. I can't help you unless you tell me the truth. So what's the number?
I've
done 17 seances.
And the other half of the show features Amy going through their home while no one is there and after all the personal effects have been removed so she can sniff out what's going on through pure psychic intuition.
There's like somebody screaming.
Male or female?
Female. She's screaming and there's like chaos.
There's no EMF readers, no REM pods, no gadgets. It's just Amy going off of pure vibes, allegedly.
This is the that pisses me off. I get very angry when the living communicate with the dead for their own amusement.
They don't do much to dissuade you from the idea that she has prior information or that they edited out inaccurate guessing. She'll just claim the strangest shit is happening while cameraman Matt reacts to her like she's fucking insane. Matt's reactions make these segments the funniest ghost show the Travel Channel has ever aired.
Like it's all nasty and bloody and like, it's awful.
It's straight up a comedy. Like in one episode, Amy says a family is being haunted by an interdimensional, shape-shifting demon that has targeted them because they built their home close to a portal to hell, which has existed since the beginning of time.
While I was watching it, it friggin' changed shape 3 times. You know, from a dog to a human to a really tall creature thing.
How do you even react to something like that? Well, I would react just like Matt. You can tell he thinks what she's saying is complete bullshit, which is excellent material for the show, but obviously not a great foundation for their failed marriage. That's real. These two were married. How could you look at someone you're married to that way? Amy works with a police sketch artist to describe the entity she feels in the home, and later Steve has to reveal the drawings to the family alongside Amy, and every single time he looks so ashamed of being a part of what is obviously exploiting these people's mental health issues. You can tell he knows this is harmful, but he shows them the drawing anyways. I'm sure it's in his contract.
That's pretty freaky.
Oh my God.
Yo, but the interdimensional hell alien looks sick as fuck though. I wouldn't mind if that thing haunted me. I would basically have my own Digimon at that point. How can Amy, the psychic, help them when she's showing them stuff like this?
It's taking over your soul. The dreams that you guys are having are in fact not really dreams at all. They're taking you into their reality.
Okay. And these are aliens.
Yes.
And Amy goes as far to say that these entities could kill them.
If she doesn't do anything, what happens?
Oh, you'll probably die.
It's insane, the conclusions she draws to explain these people's pain. It makes me feel so bad because you can tell these are real people dealing with some real issues. And meanwhile, Amy is advising them to move from their homes, a prohibitively expensive solution, and to hire exorcists and to get 10 Reiki sessions so they can clean themselves, a kind of psychic cleansing that is also prohibitively expensive. But when it's just Amy with her quirky vibes, the show's really funny. But eventually the show went downhill after Amy left and they brought in another psychic medium, Cindy Kaza, but she in no way has the kind of off-putting charisma that Amy has. Overall, it's a weird show.
Join Aaron Sagers and his team of reporters as they travel the country hunting down stories of the paranormal.
Hey, Impaler!
On Paranormal Paparazzi.
Now, Paranormal Paparazzi only lasted for 1 season, beginning in 2011. Produced by Zak Bagans himself, the show takes the TMZ format and applies it to ghost stories and other paranormal claims. You can't find this show officially listed anywhere. Fortunately, I found someone who uploaded most of the episodes to YouTube. It's a fun watch because instead of earnestly trying to make these stories scary, it literally copies TMZ by having a group of high-energy people in a well-lit office explaining paranormal phenomena like it's breaking news to each other with no attempt at setting a mood.
Yeah, you know, I've published some on this topic, and there are 2 main theories about the shadow people. One is that they are ghosts that have not fully materialized because of environmental conditions. Second, that they could actually be time travelers from the future that have come back to observe us in the peripheries.
I have a third theory. There aren't shadow people. only shadow hedgehogs. The format of the show leads to a bit of a free-for-all, with the cast eventually bringing it around to talking about celebrity paranormal encounters. Fortunately, they don't throw a camera in celebrities' faces, but still, they use celebrity names in the titles when the celebrity never makes an appearance in the episode.
Is Will Ferrell a little chicken?
Like, apparently, Will Ferrell had asked to change trailers while filming a movie in New Orleans because his trailer was supposedly haunted. And then they interview some guy about it, and then they move on to the next story. It lasts all of 1 minute, but of course, they use Will Ferrell's name in the title of the episode. Then one of the reporters goes out to Los Angeles to hang out with some ghost hunters who do all of their investigating naked.
Why naked? Why would you do this in a paranormal investigation? Is there a science to it?
Oh, well, my whole philosophy is I get a lot of attention from female spirits going all natural.
I would watch the shit out of that show. You can call it Naked and Afraid and call it a day.
Can you give us a little touch, a little touchy-feely? Did you hear that?
Paranormal Paparazzi definitely has an odd choice of presentation for a ghost show, but it's a silly watch for sure.
Now, for the first time ever, the Amish have opened a door into the part of their world that has always been hidden. Their tales of horror.
Jumping on the trend of Amish reality shows of the time, 2014's Amish Haunting does my favorite Discovery Channel method of having actors playing fake Amish people giving interviews and having another set of actors playing the same character in the reenactments. Leaning heavily into the world of Amish stereotypes, one episode features an Amish man being haunted by ghosts and demons just for using electricity.
Daniel Gingrich and his wife Sarah are about to find out that electricity will light their path to hell.
Shocking. He bought a house and plastered over every single outlet except for one, which he planned to use in secret.
He's not only using electricity for light, but also for power tools now.
Eventually, I got so good at carving the toys, and there were so many of them, that I'd give them to my wife and she'd take them to sell at market.
But of course, you can't keep secrets from the devil.
I had created a great sin and invited Satan into my home when I had made the toys.
In another episode, a non-Amish woman is said to have given a little girl a doll with a face, which is against Amish code, because according to the show, Amish dolls should not have a face to represent us all being equal in God's eyes.
The Amish believe those faces are a vessel of the devil to enter one's home.
So naturally, they're haunted by a ghost and or a demon.
Now it's got hold of Jeremiah.
I have no memory of this happening.
It's a very silly show, and it's no wonder why it only lasted for 1 season. Also known as Terror in the Woods, These Woods Are Haunted began in 2017 and ran for 3 seasons. Once again, this show relies heavily on reenactments alongside eyewitnesses telling their stories. But what's unique about it, other than the fact that it has 2 titles, is that 2 separate stories are told in every episode, and not all of them are about ghosts. One episode starts with a pretty generic tale of a Bigfoot encounter, which takes 30 minutes of the runtime, leaving the last 10 minutes or so for a little ghost story.
I'm out of here.
A couple finds a cave in the middle of the woods, and a spirit chases them out of the cave and back to their car, where they struggle with their keys for a century before driving away.
Come on, come on.
Those woods were haunted.
Just happened.
The episode descriptions include ghosts, demons, werewolves, and a whole lot of Bigfoot, but only one story includes both a ghost and a Bigfoot, which rules. This guy is staying in a cabin all by himself, and he's experiencing all sorts of unexplainable encounters. He even spots a specter outside his window who, with the power of video editing, looks really scary.
I really think it had to be a ghost.
Then the next day, the same man goes out into the woods and he hears noises which sound like Bigfoot tree knocking.
Who's there?
And he thinks it's his friend playing a trick.
Billy! Billy, is that you?
I wasn't even there, I swear to God. So he goes back out with this other Billy, which leads him into an explanation about all of the Bigfoot sightings in the area. And they even find a footprint which doesn't look like a traditional Bigfoot print. I'm on the edge of my seat. Where are they going with this? What does this abnormal Bigfoot have to do with the ghost? Finally, his skeptical wife joins him at the cabin where they start watching a ghost show on TV and start making fun of it.
We were watching a ghost show, and I enjoy mocking the show.
They're just like me for real. Finally, a relatable character.
I love these shows.
Before all of a sudden more paranormal activity occurs, even convincing his skeptic wife of the ghost, and then the episode ends. What does the Bigfoot storyline have to do with the ghost storyline? They made them seem interconnected, and I was really hoping for something cracked, like the ghost of Bigfoot. But that's too much to ask for, I guess.
Is this place a portal to hell?
2019's Portals to Hell features Ozzy Osbourne's son, Jack Osbourne, who I did not know was a paranormal investigator.
Could there have been some kind of aggressive poltergeist type entity in here?
He's had a few shows on the topic even before this one, but I have to say Portals to Hell falls into the category of just being beyond boring, which is my personal hell.
Let us know you're here. That's the temperature gauge going off.
Wait a minute. Zoom in? Enhance? Oh my god, he has evidence for Pickle Rick. That's solid evidence. In the first episode, Jack and Katrina Weidman of A&E's Paranormal State head to Juneau, Alaska to stay at the historic Alaskan Hotel. Even when they're discussing crazy anecdotes like when one person walked into a bathroom only to come out of a different building in a kind of time warp.
So she went through like a time warp almost.
Wow.
They cannot make it interesting. The Osbournes was all about the family dynamic.
Dad, I hate Jack.
What do you say? What do you say about him?
I hate Jack.
Oh, don't be stupid.
Which is why I enjoy his follow-up show, The Osbournes Want to Believe, significantly more.
Nothing is moving.
The only explanation is it's a ghost.
Produced during COVID, this show features Jack, Ozzy, and Sharon Osbourne chilling in their basement as Jack uses internet videos to convince his skeptic parents of the paranormal.
Woogie Boogie scale?
What? Nothing.
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
What's this one now? A haunted mouse.
But the only evidence this show has is that Sharon and Ozzy are not at all into their son's turn as a paranormal investigator.
Look, that is weird to me.
It's a big giant fart.
It's literally insane watching Jack try to argue anything and everything is evidence for the paranormal.
Appears to be ghosts of 3 children running from left to right. Look at this.
Wow. You ain't having much luck this week, son.
You guys are a tough crowd today.
He shows them footage of a child in a bank vault and insists it has to be a ghost because that would be a secure place.
Do you think it's a real child or a ghost child?
A real child.
But his parents are just like, oh, f off. That's probably someone's kid.
You gotta get some good stuff.
No. That hurt.
Jack looks so sad during all of this, saying he believes in paranormal evidence because he chooses to believe.
I do want to believe. I choose to believe.
Shut up.
This show is low-key awesome because it's easy to put yourself in Ozzy or Sharon's shoes.
Very objective evidence. Thank you.
Toward the end of the show's run, the Osbournes would get together for a 2-hour special, the Osbournes Night of Terror.
Are you guys ready for this?
No.
Where they investigate Heritage Square, a place in Los Angeles said to be, you guessed it, haunted. But they pull a fast one over on you because only Jack and his sister Kelly actually go to the location.
Handy dandy ghost hunting tools. One is the Malmita. You want to pop that bad boy open?
This is some toy that some nerd made so that they can go pretend to look for ghosts, if I'm honest.
Meanwhile, Sharon and Ozzy stay home to watch their antics on a supposed live feed. I would have loved to see these 4 investigate together, but unfortunately, it never happened. Following this special, Jack Osbourne would host another show called Jack Osbourne's A Night of Terror, mostly as boring as Portals to Hell. This time, Jack brings a celebrity guest with him.
Chip Coffee, welcome to the Funhouse.
I was immediately drawn to the episode with the entire Osbourne family, but once again, they market this episode as having the whole family, but only Jack and Kelly go to the location.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jack.
But I don't blame them. Ozzy looks so tired and it kind of makes me sad. Though the first episode does feature Sharon and Jack going to the Glen Tavern Inn built in 1911 in Santa Paula, California.
If you're still here, will you come and touch the blue button and then we can have a little chat?
And then they call in fucking Chip Coffee, psychic medium, to attempt to make contact with the spirits.
This hallway is active AF.
It's a long hallway.
And they are here.
I find this so funny because I imagine Chip Coffee hearing that Jack Osbourne has a show with a celebrity guest in every episode and him thinking he's the celebrity guest, only to find out that it's Sharon and they're just using him as a prop. Sharon hears a noise and fucking passes out, which has nothing to do with her being a 70-year-old woman and everything to do with ghosts. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jack Osbourne pop up with another paranormal investigative show, but none of these shows have lasted much longer than one season, which I'm also not surprised by.
The Ghost Loop.
The show Ghost Loop is interesting because it hones in on a singular phenomenon paranormal investigators claim to see.
These spirits are often trapped, repeating the same trauma over and over.
Which means they get to make one piece of ghostly B-roll and just play it over and over again.
It's the same thing that happens every time.
Are you going back and forth to these two rooms?
That's the ghost loop, right? It starts in her room and it ends in here.
The activity's back and forth for sure.
The Ghost Loop team is quite large. It seems like they're running out of titles for each other because one is just an empath. I'm an empath too, and I'm catching on to the feeling that you think this is bullshit.
Can you appear next to Chris's bed so we can see you? Oh, it's right. It was right over Chris's bed, right over her head.
The show has absolutely no appreciation for building suspense.
Hi.
Every attempt to make contact with the ghosts is immediately successful, leading to a really straightforward story and no room for mystery.
Did you lose a son? I did, in a female voice.
Girl, that's not a ghost. That's Adobe Premiere Reverb with the Great Hall preset.
I did.
I'm a ghost.
Oh my God.
Their EVP recordings they receive come in clearer and quicker than any other show on this list.
Dude, did you just hear that?
What happened?
It was like a baby noise, like a little humming.
Recording a disembodied voice one can hear with a human ear is considered a Class A voice phenomenon.
And the solution they bring to the family is always very conclusive, as they know the exact steps to get a ghost to move on from the home without making the family do crazy ritualistic things after they leave.
Anna, please, you have to go.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Whoa. Thanks.
Thanks. She said thanks.
I mean, she was trapped here for a long time, and I mean, she's gone.
Good work.
So either the investigators are faking it,
dude, I'm in shock.
Me too.
Or they're really that much more talented than all the other ghost investigators on this list. Predating Ghost Adventures by a few years, the Travel Channel would eventually pick up the Sci-Fi Channel's Ghost Hunters, but not before they created their own spin-off with the original cast, Ghost Nation, in 2019.
Ghost Nation.
Arguably, Ghost Hunters was much more prolific than Ghost Adventures, with a massive list of spin-offs and former cast members.
Whoa, what was that? What was that?
What was what?
Did you hear that? It was like a...
So returning from Ghost Hunters, we have Jason Hawes, Steve Gonsalves, Dave Tango, and later Sherry DiBenedetti all return.
Scared the hell out of me.
In the first episode of Ghost Nation, these hunters realize they need to get back in the game if they want to help people with their ghost problems. With the first episode of Ghost Nation answering the common fan question, do they prefer to prove or debunk the existence of ghosts?
I don't think we have a preference either way if we find something or we don't. That's what it's all about, is getting out there and helping out people who are scared in their own home. And so that's more satisfying than anything.
On a few occasions, the Ghost Hunters did give a non-paranormal explanation for people seeing ghosts, claiming specific hauntings were a hoax.
These guys have built complex machines, pneumatic on timers to make the chandeliers move. It's a conscious effort to try to deceive people into thinking the place is haunted.
But to me, this just creates a facade of a scientific approach because they still use the same unproven gear and methods that other ghost hunters use. The episode Evil Inc. exemplifies why I don't like Ghost Nation pretty well. The gang goes to a supposedly haunted tattoo parlor. They've seen ghosts ghosts of a distorted little girl, and Dale, the owner, says he even saw a ghost of himself. Oh my god, it's just like Lake Mungo. Throughout most of the episode, the guys are just silently walking around a location, making confused-looking faces with almost total silence.
Are you in there? Can you hear me? Cars.
They look like me when I get up in the middle of the night and forget why I got up at all. The silence feels like they're trying to draw the audience into the space with them, trying to make out any noise that could be paranormal. But again, nothing is fucking happening.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
All right, that was a voice.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I heard that.
All right, so there was nothing that was just going on that was just going boom, boom, anything like that.
Wait, what was that? What was that? I heard it too. It was like a...
The strangest thing they catch on camera is that the owners of the tattoo shop put a frame around their air conditioning controls. I'm not judging, but it's the only decoration decision I noticed. So after 30 minutes of this, they say it's time to start the investigation.
Let's get set to start investigating.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what is it that you've been doing? The only debunking suggestion they make is that maybe all of the mirrors in the bathroom caused Dale to burn an image of himself into his retina before turning off the lights, but they're not even sure of that explanation.
I mean, it was the most intelligent way I could think of.
Yeah.
I can possibly disprove it.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that, but it was certainly more intelligent than the explanation that he saw a ghost of himself, like in Lake Mungo. After that, it's all the same gadgets every other ghost hunter uses. So I really do believe these guys were the OG ghost hunters, bullshit and all.
Cars. Did you hear it?
It's not cars.
Not the cars.
Not the cars, it's right before that. It's like, it sounds like still here.
But I found an even earlier ghost hunter. Also from 2019, we have the Holzer Files, starring investigator Dave Schrader, psychic Cindy Kaza,
Psychic medium Cindy, who knows nothing,
and technician Shane Pittman, who have all been featured on other ghost shows before this. Also joining them in a limited capacity is Alexandra Holzer, the daughter of Hans Holzer, the namesake of the show. For the most part, this show is like every other ghost show.
What was that? Something just behind me.
Wind is caused by the heat from the sun and the rotation of the earth.
Except for how heavily it references the legacy of Hans Holzer.
Hans Holzer understands the rules of ghostly behavior perhaps better than anyone else.
Who is considered to be the father of ghost hunting, claiming to have coined the phrase, the other side, to refer to the plane of existence ghosts live, and the part of the pillow that's cold. In his life, Holzer wrote over 140 books, hosted his own radio show, and his own television show titled Ghost Hunter, singular, which at least aired in Boston in 1963, and later he produced his own syndicated show, which at least had its pilot episode air in 1972. But footage of his investigations and these shows are hard to find and may be lost media. He was also a regular guest on talk shows, including Johnny Carson, and was a talking head in documentaries about ghost hunting, including In Search of Ghosts, hosted by Leonard Nimoy.
They keep reliving the final moments over and over again, like a phonograph needle stuck in the final groove.
The Ghost Loop. We've learned some things from Hans Holzer's Ghost Hunt at Port Clyde.
His work inspired the Amityville movies, and he was the main inspiration for Ghostbusters. And of course, he was a proponent of Eric von Daniken's ancient astronaut theory, and even wrote his own book on the topic. So he definitely had it in with the other iconic whack jobs of the time. But the Holzer Files uses his original material very limitedly, which is a bummer because I like this kind of archival material and I would have loved to see more of it. The episode usually begins by reviewing some of his investigations, and then it devolves into your standard ghost show fare, as the crew uses their tech and psychic intuition to compare their findings to that of Holzer and his psychic companions like Sybil Leek. In the first episode, they go to a house Holzer had investigated, but after the family moved away over 20 years ago, no one else in that home has had a ghost sighting.
I spoke with the current family, and they haven't heard a peep in the 21 years they've owned the home.
a haunting just stops after decades of reported activity?
So the show does some mental gymnastics to maintain their connection to Holzer, explaining that the ghost must have moved to another home that Holzer never investigated.
All paranormal activity ceased to happen, and then it began immediately where we are now.
Which is just a wild string of mental gymnastics landing firmly on confirmation bias. On the Queen Mary, Sybil Leek and Hans Holzer sensed a great evil, and when Cindy gets on board, she feels angry.
He's so angry. He's so angry.
And they're like, oh my god, Leek and Holzer were correct. There is a great evil on board this ship.
Oh, he just moved over here. This is scary. Because he was there, and now he's right standing in front of me. I can feel his energy. You need to back off.
They found evidence of confirmation bias. For the most part, the audio recordings featured in the show are not Holzer's, but rather an actor playing him. Sometimes they do have short little clips and audio recordings, but I honestly would be more interested in a documentary that relies on Holzer's archival material rather than bringing in this new group to have new investigations. The show only got access to some material through collaborating with Holzer's daughter, who is also a paranormal investigator and wanted to star in the show herself. Unfortunately, according to an interview with Bloody Disgusting, few were interested in picking up a ghost show with a female lead, which is dumb, and I do hope one day she gets to make something cool that really examines the legacy of her father's work in a less superficial way than the Holzer Files. Also starting in 2019, Destination Fear ran for 4 seasons on the Travel Channel. It was created by Dakota Layden, who takes his sister Chelsea, his child best friend Tanner, and Alex, another guy, on a road trip across the US in search of the paranormal. Dakota says this is his experiment about fear, but nothing about this is experimental. They're doing the same shit everyone does. In the first season, they travel to the top 10 most haunted places in America while on a road trip.
Sanitarium, prison, asylum, hospital, school, hotel. That's our road trip right there. Are you kidding?
Only Dakota knows the location, but of course it lasted longer than a single season.
I've been investigating the paranormal with Zak Bagans and the Ghost Adventures crew.
Produced by Zak Bagans, it sort of plays out like Ghost Adventures, the next generation, as the entire cast seems to be aware of the need to create an entertaining product. But at the end of the day, it just feels like they're producing scary YouTube videos that are meant to scare children.
What? You're getting a call again?
I don't have my phone on me.
Dude, answer it.
It's Tanner. It's Tanner.
What's happening?
I don't like this, and now, unfortunately, we have to go to bed now.
And that's fitting because YouTube would be Dakota's springboard into the paranormal limelight. As a teenager, he would post Ghost Adventure parodies, which is how he first got noticed by Zak Bagans and the Travel Channel.
My name is Zak Bagans. I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one.
Everyone that stays in this room seems to get touched sexually.
I'm gonna be staying in this room alone.
Sounds like a succubus.
Yeah. And that is why we are here.
Yeah.
Yes! He would eventually win a Ghost Adventures contest, which got him featured on the show, where he'd eventually earn an official spot ghost adventuring. The Travel Channel loved his self-produced paranormal documentary Trail to Terror so much that they greenlit his own show. During one episode, the team explores the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia, being one of many shows to go to this location, and they spend the night only to be harassed by a series of ghosts.
Oh my god! That was the loudest crash I have heard. Okay.
This place had all sorts of abuse and torture occur inside of it. They performed too many lobotomies at this place, and a lobotomy is about the equivalent of watching one Ghost Adventure episode, just so you know how terrible they are. You wouldn't survive in the asylum where they raised me. By the way, the official website for the asylum sells this shirt. I went nuts at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. So ghost hunting is by no means the most disrespectful thing that goes on here in the present day. At the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary in Tennessee, they use one of my least favorite ghost hunting tools, the Ovulus, which works similar to an EMF meter, except they tie the signals to a pre-programmed dictionary, which will activate with environmental changes.
What did it say? Mommy.
Kiss.
What?
Kiss.
Kiss.
I didn't know this thing was connected to Twitch chatters. They all scream in the middle of the night and then they leave in the morning without finding any evidence of ghosts or even SpongeBob, which I heard rumors exists there. When Destination Fear was canceled in 2023, a lot of fans were speculating Zak Bagans called the network out of jealousy to end its run, and I don't blame them for thinking this. Destination Fear feels infinitely more fresh than modern Ghost Adventures. But the rumors got so bad, Dakota was forced to make a statement.
I just got a phone call, and I have to publicly address this now. Here we go. Did Zak Bagans shut down Destination Fear? No, he didn't. Did Zak Bagans call the network and say shut it down? No, he didn't.
So now Dakota and his castmates continue to independently produce their show as Project Fear on YouTube. So in a way, he's come full circle. Talk about a ghost loop. Also from 2019, The Ghost Brothers Haunted House Guests is a Travel Channel spin-off of Destination America's Ghost Brothers, which features 3 brothers, Ghost Brothers. Dalen Spratt, Juwan Mass, and Marcus Harvey. They are hunting ghosts out of their headquarters in Atlanta, which happens to be a barbershop.
You just felt like presence of something,
like
or you really saw?
could see a figure, a black figure there.
I'm a black figure.
That
you are. That you are.
Well, actually,
these guys definitely have the entertainment chops to host a show.
Your shirt say? Smart, brave, funny, like dad.
That's what I do. I always make my kids wear, complimentary gear for me.
But what I'm finding out about these shows is I really hate it when they go to some rando's house, regardless of where they're living. This guy they're helping is a cop, and he wears a thin blue line hat. But instead of calling the cops for help, he has to call the Ghost Brothers. So that should really be a thin ectoplasm line, out of respect for ghost hunters. They're the only thing standing between you and the demons and the ghosts and the spirits and the spookies. In one episode, a family is haunted by who they call the bad man.
And he pointed at the door and goes, "Mama, bad man." I look up, and there was a full silhouette of a man standing in his doorway.
And in another, a family is haunted by who they call the creepy man.
We call him Mr. Creepy.
This show seems like it was made for the baby man. Wait a minute, zoom in, enhance. I think they just got evidence of Jack's skeleton, from the Nightman Before Christmas. Obviously, there's a limit to how many interesting, high-profile destination locations are said to be haunted, but just going to people's houses abandons the spirit of the Travel Channel. On this channel, they should always be going somewhere that the audience themselves may want to visit, that they can visit. I am not going to go up to this person's house and knock on a door for a tour. I'm not invited. I'm just not gonna do that. I couldn't, nor I wouldn't. But unlike the Dead Files, what I'm also realizing is I hate the technology they use to communicate with the spirits. It's not only entirely unconvincing, but to me, it hinders the entertainment. It's annoying to watch them use these randomly fluctuating things, which can be explained in any number of ways as evidence for ghosts. The Ovulus says the ghost is there for malice.
What your mission is.
And then the Xbox Connect struggles to make out a figure when they don't point it at anyone.
Get this right now. There is a stick figure right here.
I've seen this before, but when they put the toys down and start relying on their imagination, they reel me back in. The mother has a vision of her child drowning in a pool, a victim of the creepy man. So they try to trigger the ghost by pretending to drown in a pool, which is just like me when I was little looking for attention. I just wasn't looking for attention from a ghost. This one's real silly shit.
If you're mad that we're leaving, make the REM pod go off again.
The Ghosts of Devil's Perch takes place in the haunted town of Butte, Montana. More like Butt, Montana. It features 2/3 of the cast of the Holzer Files. Dave and Cindy are joined by inventor Katie Stratford, who've all been brought in by the sheriff and the mayor to solve unsolvable cases. Great use of public resources there. Cindy literally wears her AirPods to avoid learning anything about the case to get a pure psychic reading, which I think is sort of revealing.
Cindy's stationed in the back of the RV and she's got noise-canceling earphones on. She doesn't want to know anything.
They're not trying to confirm someone else's reading. There is no point to hide information from Cindy other than to convince the audience of her psychic powers. The purpose of the show is that they're supposed to go to Butte, Montana to help people. Wouldn't she be of more help if they shared information with her It's so dumb. It's almost like they're trying to foster an environment for her magic trick to be more convincing, rather than trying to help people like the show says they are. Cindy feels like she senses a lady in a blue dress, and when they can't figure out who that might be, she says, this is a mining town, and a popular mine is the Bluebird Mine. The blue dress was actually symbolic, not literal.
Right, she wearing a blue dress. I think that that's part of the symbolism.
I just want to say, if I were a ghost, I'd be literal with you. I wouldn't be symbolic. I wouldn't beat around the bush. I'd just be straight up. They use all the typical ghost hunting equipment, but in the first episode, KD has a wacky invention. My favorite archetype is the wacky inventor. It's a brand new ghost detection invention, which is part fog machine and part laser beam. What? That's just like standard concert gear. But apparently it will create a 2D plane for the ghost to imprint itself on, and confirmation bias occurs when the fog flickers a little bit.
Oh, wow. I saw something that was like a solid figure.
He's here.
And oh my god, a sink turns on. If I were a ghost, I would simply tell you I was there. I wouldn't need to turn on a sink. I wouldn't waste my ghost energy with that. But I love the imagination. Literally anything and everything that could possibly be seen as a ghost is a ghost. Something interesting about this show is it's sort of serialized.
Previously on Ghost Solve.
With a story from the first episode involving a blood feud between business rivals, Ferdinand Van Zant and James Murray continuing on the other side. In episode 2, Katie reveals that he thinks the sink turning on in the last episode is a sign that the spirits have been acknowledged and are moving on.
I think the energy here has shifted.
Hopefully the spirits know that they've been acknowledged now and for the right reasons.
Which is a big assumption to make. They were in a century-long blood feud that persisted into the afterlife, and this sink turning on means it's all over. Their storytelling is dog shit. Why did they make us wait until the second episode to conclude the first episode's storyline? Why would anyone watch a serialized ghost show? It's dumb. I was not expecting much from the show Haunted Scotland, but it made me realize that the more active imagination ghost hunters have, the better the show is.
From what I've heard, there's a theory that Erin has a lot of mythical creatures like goblins, imps, and fairies.
Yeah, definitely.
Scottish investigator Gail Porter checks out Broderick Castle, which is said to be haunted by ghosts. But American medium Chris Fleming is feeling froggy today, and he decides there's no way this is a ghost responsible for these hauntings. We're in the UK. We might as well get local with it.
It had ears, had a larger head, smaller, thin body, and it was kind of like this.
He's looking for all the folklore creatures that could be involved with this haunting.
That is an elemental voice, very similar to voices I've captured of imps, pixies, and stuff like that.
What does that even mean? What do you mean by elemental? One of the employees at the castle explains a moment where she felt a ghost's presence.
She would usually have come right down to the other end of the castle to get changed, but she decided she couldn't be bothered with this, so she'd do it just in the little alcove. And whilst she was doing this, she said she felt somebody standing near her, and she was absolutely and utterly gripped.
Like, you're telling me you felt like somebody may have been watching you when you got undressed and naked in a place you've never been naked before? Am I the insane one? Because I feel like being watched is a perfectly natural feeling you might have if you get naked in a place you've never been naked before. That doesn't mean there's a ghost there. It just means you're naked in a new place. Are there ghosts in every mall, in every fitting room? I finally understand the naked ghost hunters from Paranormal Paparazzi. Haunted Scotland is nothing special, though I admit it's nice to see the Travel Channel create a show that features traveling to interesting locations. Before we move on to our final show, I just want to give a shout out to our Patreon members, especially our gold level patrons. If you want your name up on the screen, you can join down below. If you want to support us other ways, consider subscribing and commenting down below. Would you get naked to hunt ghosts, or would you keep your clothes on? And now to our final show. When I saw Kesha come up on our list of ghost hunters and the show Conjuring Kesha, I feel like I saw a ghost. I immediately knew Kesha was a real one because years ago she talked about having sex with the ghost.
I did go to the Bone Zone with a ghost.
Kesha has a massive head start. Zak Bagans had to investigate like 100 places before he had sex with the ghost. I assume this is why most people get into ghost hunting. It's all about the chase with them. In each episode, Kesha goes to a haunted location, usually one famous enough to have been featured in another show, where she brings along a celebrity guest with her. I like Kesha, I'm super nostalgic for her music, but this show just does not have the same cracked energy as Ghost Adventures. She goes to the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary where she catches evidence no one else could. Wait a minute. Zoom in. Enhance. She did it. She got evidence of SpongeBob at the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. Ghost Adventures couldn't do that. Destination Fear couldn't do that. Maybe Kesha is as cracked as everyone else. That's a warding SpongeBob to deflect demons.
This place. You're a bummer. Bummerville.
There's a celebrity guest in every episode, and Whitney Cummings comes along to not only ghost hunt, but to flex her allyship as she comes into contact with a ghost.
Are you a transgender woman? I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Okay, maybe this show is as good as Ghost Adventures.
This is an intelligent spirit.
But then Whitney Cummings starts calling the trans ghost it.
No, it knew exactly how to push my buttons.
Way to fumble your allyship, Cummings. And then the priest they bring along to help free the ghost tells them the trans ghost is actually probably a demon trying to manipulate her and tug at her heartstrings.
Wanted to pull on your emotions, okay? And the demons use that.
And you know what? I think this show is no longer progressive. They get out of there because Kesha wants to protect her soul.
Nothing in this place is worth any one of our souls. So let's wrap it up and on to the next.
And as long as my light burns bright, the demons will never have a chance at tricking my soul or trapping my spirit.
In a later episode, Kesha brings psychic medium Chip Coffee, who I will continue to clown on until the day I die. And then he can clown on me after I die.
Show strength, Kesha. You're liberating some souls.
He tries to encourage Kesha to do her best at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum and points out where they should go.
Because I just want to take you up there. Can I just take you? Okay,
Holy shit! Let me get playback on that. I think we have some interesting evidence here. Like the Jack Osbournes show, what I find so funny about Chip Coffee being on a show featuring celebrity guests in every episode is he's not the celebrity guest.
You have been here with my friends, and I'm the new kid on the block.
That would be Big Frida, who was supposed to tour with Kesha in 2020 before COVID hit. So it's cool Kesha made up for it by hunting ghosts with Big Frida. Chip is just a prop they use in the last 10 minutes. Poor Chip, never the celebrity guest, always the prop. Pretty savage, Kesha. Kesha even looks for Bigfoot, who is in fact ghost adjacent, I guess. She entertains theories that Bigfoot lives inside a parallel universe whose portals are hidden inside mountains, and then she shows off her acting chops as she's shown the worst piece of Bigfoot footage imaginable.
Oh my God. Now, after seeing the videos and the pictures and the stories from this place, I'm definitely opening up to the idea of Bigfoot.
Anyways, this show only lasted for 6 episodes, but it's definitely a fun watch and will definitely be a cult classic because it's as good as Ghost Adventures. Zak Bagans is in the Mariana Trench and Kesha is in the center of the earth. So I've done it. I've watched every single ghost show on the Travel Channel. And after looking at the evidence, I believe in ghosts even less. So what was your favorite ghost show? If I missed any, I'm sorry. Please let me know down below which ones I missed. Maybe I'll get to it in another video. And just as I'll say before I become a ghost, see ya.